Led by a lifelong interest in healing, Dr. Linda Salvin pursued an advanced degree in epidemiology. Then, after dramatic near-death experiences, Dr. Linda saw the other side and returned with gifts of insight, visions, and revealed wisdom. Now those gifts are ongoing, and she's here to share them with you. Get ready to be amazed. It's time for Dr. Linda Salvin's Psychic Solutions Podcast with America's original radio psychic, Dr. Linda Salvin, offering up her always fascinating blend of psychic psychology, clairvoyant insights, and expert guests and alternative healing methods. So pull up a chair and get ready for a visit with the one and only Dr. Linda. And now, live from Los Angeles, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Linda Salvin.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Linda Salvin, PhD, metaphysician, and I have a guest. Supposedly, her name is Katy, who I've known 35 years, and she's in North Carolina, and I'm in California, and for some reason, she's not here. But that doesn't mean she won't show up. It just means she's not here now, and maybe there's a glitch. Why is there a glitch? Like everything else in the last week and a half, 2 weeks, there is a retrograde going on, and the retrograde has been insane for most people. Communication, people yelling, screaming, blaming, technology falling apart, things getting lost in the mail, articles rather, attacks from agencies you would never believe. I got attacked by the AMA calling myself a doctor because I'm not an MD. And in the state of California, you cannot call yourself doctor unless you're an MD. So that's why now I'm qualifying myself as Dr. Linda Salvin, PhD or MPH, PhD. The MPH is a Master Public Health and Epidemiology, by the way. And it's just California and Georgia have these laws, and I got nabbed because I went to the AMA about a case I filed on my father, and one of the managers saw my title and so I had to change it. So it's been a little weird trying to revamp everything that I've been doing for 16 years maybe. Communication, people saying it's your fault. And I'm like, no, I'm just responding to you professionally or because you called me. No, I didn't. And now Katy's not here. And that's just the way it is until the 25th of this month. Every 3.5 months, the planet Mercury appears to go in a backward motion and everything goes with it. Communication, technology, travel, car accidents, blowing your tire out, people breaking up right and left, people reuniting, all the RE words, reconcile, reevaluate. A lot of your childhood memories or your problems may amplify in your mind as you reflect on certain emotions. That's not uncommon. So if you're going through any of this and it's a little more vivid than normally or a little stressed out more than normally, you're fine. Just hold on. It has been awful. I have been on the verge of tears. I wanted to throw things at the window, and I'm like, breathe, and it will be okay. So Katy's not here. I met here in Los Angeles many years ago. She used to work in the entertainment industry, and her last job was working for the Jay Leno show. And she decided she'd had enough of the Hollywood scene and all the work. And she packed up her dogs, sold her condo, and moved to Ashville, North Carolina, and has been working there and loving everything for over 15 years. And with a beautiful soul and a beautiful spiritual experience, I wanted her to share it with you. So we'll have to do it another time. If you're listening and you'd like to call in, there is a phone number while I'm live today on Tuesday, April 16th. It's 561-623-9421 is that phone number if you'd like to call in. And we can talk about anything. Since I have free reign of the show right now, I'm going to get into some of the nutritional products I've been taking, and they work. One has to do with DNA. We swab our cheeks. We send the swabs to the company in Texas. It's all HIPAA compliant. There's nothing to do with the government. It's all private. And what happens is after you get your swabs back, they don't send back the swabs. You get you get about 150 pages of information. I don't know, Rebel, if you have it, it might be a little bit easier than me holding it up. But you get a detailed analysis. There you go. This is mine, by the way, of 18 genes we're all born with, and they mark them per the swabs to see what you're hot and mild. And now the green dot means I was born with the gene. The yellow means I inherited potential for risk of disease from one parent. And the red, which I have two, represents what I got from both parents. Now, the CYP 1182, which is this one, deals with blood pressure, cardiovascular issues, heart problems. I had my dad, his dad, and my mom's mom all had heart disease. So obviously I inherited the gene for heart disease. And you come down a little further to this one, and that's called the motherfucker gene. That's really called the motherfucker gene. They spell it MTHFR, but it's all about the homocysteine in your blood, how your heart works, how your blood pressure rises, your arteries, being hot-tempered, being depressed. I can tell you, I have suffered from depression most of my life. But since I've been on this, and obviously I've had a lot of therapy and helped to work on myself, although I still have PTSD from the plane crash, that never goes away. But for the majority of my moods in the past, this product, I would say, has stabilized me in a way I never thought possible, because it feeds my genes the right nutrition my body needs in order to maintain the proper level of consistency. Some people have liver disease. Some people have chronic kidney issues. Some people have autoimmune, which could be your thyroid, your immunity is low. You get sick more frequently. You have different joint pains, arthritic pains. Everybody has something. Nobody is immune to anything. Luckily, some people are healthier than others, and some people are constantly going to one doctor after another. As you know, they're having a nip, a tuck, they're having surgery, they have a gallstone, they have a bladder infection, there's always something with somebody, right? And then there's those that just seem to be pretty healthy. But with me, luckily, I have never had any major problems, although I did have a hysterectomy in 1991 when I was 37 years old. And I did have a heart ablation in 2002 because I had tachycardia. So through the years, I've had my moments, but this product, which is DNA nutrition based on our own individual DNA swabs and report, will be customized and clinically dosed per your body, or your friend's body, or your spouse's body, or your child's body. And you will see after 4 months, things start to change, because the body, most of our problems start in the gut, and most of us are not nutritionally well. We lack nutrition. This does it for you. I've been taking it for 4 years now. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't take it. I take lots of products, always trying something to see what's best for my clients and patients. And if I don't like it, I'm not going to promote it. And some people think I upsell too much. Well, it's part of my brand. You know, you go to a doctor, an MD, let me qualify, and their prescription might be in the form of a pill, a liquid, a gel, or a salve, something to help you. My prescription for your soul comes through nutrition and through candle magic. That's my brand. And some people think I sell too much. No, that's just how I am. I created the brand, and I started radio in 1994. Here we are 30 years later. And yeah, I'm still working. You don't like it? Go to someone else. Someone else will come for my services. I've learned through the years, you know, you can bitch and moan as you want because you don't get what you want. Even if I give you a discount, there's always something wrong. Or there's those that can't get enough, like anything else, right? So health is defined by the Department of HEW, which is Health, Education, and Welfare, as the state of mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being, and not merely the absence of disease. I studied public health. I studied health education. I taught AIDS education to kids on parole. I put together a drug abuse program at a state college. I worked in aerospace, and I put together a occupational health and safety program. I had to make sure that the employees weren't overexposed to certain chemicals, or lighting, or ventilation was properly. All the environmental stuff that can go wrong in an industrial environment and make people sick. You can get sick. So I've always been involved with health. But once I was in the plane crash in 1981, I changed, and I became very psychic, and I became very woo-woo, and I didn't work for quite a while. And I found that eventually, when I stopped fighting this flow inside me of this psychic ability that had taken place after the plane crash I was in, I embraced it. And then I tried to figure out what to do with it. And because the definition of health includes spiritual well-being, and I had become extremely spiritual at that point, I had to look at, where does that belong in the health industry? And I started going more holistic. I started going more natural. And I started just trusting my God. And everything opened up. I ended up in radio, as you know. I've been on TV. I've been written up in books. My own book is coming out. We've got 204 pages now. I'm thrilled. So, and a lot of you out there have contributed to the book with testimonials. I'm very grateful. So, who knew? Because that's not what my plan was at one point. I've always been some type of a writer, with whether it's songs, lyrics, or diaries, but I never thought I'd really write a book. I didn't know what I would talk about, but it turned out I had a journey of initiation through the spiritual and psychic world after 3 near-death experiences. And last week we talked about near-death, and this week on Thursday, there's a woman by the name of Peggy Robinson who has a channel on YouTube all on near-death. And I've been on her show twice, and she's going to be on my show now this Thursday on the Psychic Solutions Podcast. So you're not going to want to miss that. And tomorrow we're doing with Candy Finnegan, One Day at a Time, where we talk about recovery and how you can overcome or help yourself heal from different ailments, especially if you're addicted to drugs, alcohol, sex, spending, gambling, online. Online's an addiction, everything that takes us away from who we are, right? So you're not going to want to miss that. But let's go back to the health for a moment, because I can testify that the products that this company makes not only changes you on the inside, but there's a skin serum that I use. I don't have it in the studio, but people always compliment my skin. I've been using this for 4 years. It's like I put a little bit on my cheeks and around my nose, and it's like my skin just sucks it up. And it's not greasy, but it nourishes, and it's got a DNA component. And it has helped my skin tremendously. Now, another company that I use in conjunction with has a detox program. You don't stop eating, but you're cleansing your cellular structure. You're detoxing from glyphosates, metals, plastics, and you're starting to become healthier. Now, I was drinking, if you've been following me for many months on this show, out of a purple plastic bottle, which I threw away the other day because I finally bought a metal bottle, because I don't want to keep ingesting the particulates from the plastic, which are going to cause more disease or clog me up on the inside. They're finding now that on average, a person is ingesting, that means swallowing, putting it in your mouth, whatever, getting into your body, the equivalent of 1 plastic credit card worth of plastic a week. That's a lot of plastic. So not only do we have the glyphosates from like Roundup and all the different appeals, which is the quote, organic bug spray on the crops, you're still getting sick. There is a company that gives you a blender with some, it's an appleberry flavored green drink. It's got the wheatgrass, but it's also got the equivalent of 6 fruits and vegetables. You don't have to eat it all. You just drink it once or twice a day. Then there's amino acids that get into your muscles, and you get energy within 23 minutes. And then we've got the biome, which detoxes the body from the glyphosates, plastics, and metals. And then there's a parasitical cleanse. I love that product. And you're only supposed to do it every couple of months, but I have it every month. It just feels good knowing that, and I eat sushi. I eat a lot of fish. And there's going to be parasites in the food, just like in pork or beef or chicken. There's parasites everywhere. And how many times have you partied all weekend with the beer and the chips and the candy or whatever you were eating, and then you stop to get sober for the week and do your job, but you have headaches? Why do you have a headache? Well, because the sugar's not being replenished in your body, but the parasites are there looking for the sugar, so it's going to give you a headache as the little babies start looking for sugar. What the product does, it helps to eliminate most of the parasites, but they always lay eggs. So we want to stay on top of cleansing the body. I feel energized. I feel cleaned out. And when Dr. Sharon and I were talking about it a year ago, when she wanted me on, I said, no, I don't want to take it because of the DNA. That's enough. No, I fought it. I didn't want to take it. So I took it for the first month. Oh, nothing's happening. Second month, whatever. But by day 84, I called her. So I woke up one day. I was totally clear. Everything had cleaned out of my body. My brain was clear. And I said, oh, I feel so good. She said, Linda, it's 90 days. This stuff works. So what we do and what we suggest is you combine the DNA nutrition along with the detox, which also at night gives you a cherry drink that brings down and cleanses resets your melatonin, and also helps with circadian rhythm for your eyes so you can sleep and rest. So I put this and that and have a full smoothie, and I am working my body from the inside out. It's all available for you if you're interested. What else do I do besides nutrition? I do candle magic. I've been doing candle magic now 28 years, since 1998 or whatever, how many years it is. And I mean, 1999. I got trained in 1999, started Weeks of Wisdom. They've been on television. I upsell them. Yes, I do upsell them because they help you. They help you. I don't need them. I do it for you. If you need to get rid of negativity, blocks, obstacles, you're trying to go for a lawsuit, you want to win that lawsuit. I just spoke to one of my clients today on the East Coast who was going after a custody battle. So she's doing sweetening judgment on the mediator and the judge aspect. And then she does good luck power on her husband's or her ex's attorney, because it shifts the energy and helps it focus more in her favor. How does it work? Well, that's what you need to call me and find out. But you get bottles of oil, you get herbs and powders. There's different formulas, just like in cooking. You know, if you're going to make banana bread, chocolate chip cookies, and angel food cake, they're all desserts, right? But they have different recipes to get you to the end result. Same thing in candle magic. I have different types of oils, different names of oils. I do not tell you what they are or what the properties are. They're colored coded only. And then you get 4 bottles of essential oil. Here's purple, red, black, and green. And I send you the kit. We wrap it up in bubble wrap. We call it a burrito. And you get your 3 circles because I teach you what to write on the petition that gets burned in the candle. It's magic. I have seen people get married, find their soulmates. I have seen people heal from illnesses where their own doctors were unable to treat them. The most recent is one in a client of mine who's in Portugal, and I do the candles here in LA for her. Yes, from here, it can burn there and do the work. You don't have to be there, but the work carries because it's spirit. It's ethereal. You can't see it. It's energy, but it works. And there's a man in Switzerland who's ultrasound proved nothing wrong with his foot, but he came to me. He couldn't walk. There was probably, I don't know if it was tendons or it strained something in the muscle, but whatever it is, I was able to cure it, stop it, put him back without pain by doing a set of candles, the health and wellness. And I think we did 2 or 3 sets. He asked me to do one other thing to remove some negativity, and he's fine. I texted him or emailed him about a week and a half ago to let him know the latest work was done. We're taking a break right now. And I'm available for him or you anytime you need it. So candle magic works like a prescription for your soul. If it's love, if it's making money, if it's getting through this retrograde, that retrograde, you're going to want to do definitely a good luck power and maybe some money and success. Maybe you want to do a rebound and push the negativity back on somebody who's harming you or backstabbing you or whatever's going on. The opportunities for getting rid of a third wheel. Say you're in a relationship and the ex is hanging around, or someone's trying to steal your man or guy, or your girl. I have a formula that will gently remove that third person, so that if you're meant to be in the relationship, it'll be the 2 of you. So everything's available for you at lindaselvin.com. And if you just want to see the candles, go to wicksofwisdom.net. Either one, it's all there for you because I'm here to help you. As far as where we're going to be going psychically, we all grow. We're all going through a huge shift right now. We always are. It's part of life. It's the evolution of time and life. And we all grow. We all have emotions. We all have the depth of feelings. The musicians have a little more sensitivity and they're more able to tap into their creative, spiritual, emotional self versus a banker or somebody that's a little more left brain, because we always think that men don't feel, but they do. Men are just trained or taught, at least our generation, to not be as emotive, to not wear their heart on their sleeve. Some do, and I think it's great. I love a man who's transparent. I hate having to chip away at the walls to find out what goes on inside. You know, it's one thing if they work out or they work hard or they want to come off with all testosterone, but when you really take off that mask and you see this little boy, what he went through with his mom or his college days or the old girlfriends or the wives, you know, I don't mind hearing the story because that makes them human, as opposed to being zipped up just to look good, right? And we all have done that. My goal as a psychic and a healer is to find out what's going on with what you coming to the table and where you want to go. And then I can help pin the tail on the donkey without the blindfold and offer some insight. And most of the time, the predictions will come true, not necessarily within a day or a week. Some readers I know are so now readers that it starts to happen, and others can take months, a year, 2 years, but it will happen if it's on the right course and the right path. But remember, you have free will. You have free will. I didn't understand psychics back when I first went in the 70s. I thought my friend told this woman everything about me, and this woman described a guy who I actually ended up meeting, who did want to get married, but I had just been in the plane crash and hit by the fire truck. And the last thing I wanted to think of was a relationship when my brain so scrambled. But the prediction came true. And some of the more recent predictions have been coming true. And it's been wonderful. It's a lot of fun. But I take it seriously as well, because I want to help guide you in the best that I can. If you're interested in a reading, healing, or channeling session, lindasalvin.com. As far as the candles, they're all online. I believe there's 22 sets. I don't even remember, but I have different formulas for different things, whether it's legal, health, love, luck, peace, harmony, protection. You want to be protected from attacks. Or I have shut up. Somebody's gossiping or backstabbing you. I got a way to shut them up. If you're being backstabbed, you shut them up so that you're in a better space. Okay. The psychic world is dangerous to a lot of the practitioners. And I did a show last night with Charlotte Cosa, who's been on many times with me. She's with she owns California Haunts, so they're ghost hunters. She's a ghost hunter. And we come from very different worlds, but we meet in the middle with our practice. And we were talking about psychic attacks, because she's been under psychic attack. I've been under tremendous attack, to the point I had to call somebody to undo the juju that was being done to me, besides the candles. And you send it back, or you remove it, and then you calm down. She feels it. I feel it. Sometimes it gets heavy. Sometimes it's exhausting. Sometimes it's draining. Sometimes they are trying to make you feel like you're the crazy one, when really it's their jealousy or resentment or lack of self-worth, whatever, being pushed towards someone like me, or a doctor I work with, whose name I don't want to mention, or Charlotte, who doesn't mind me mentioning her. We all have these attacks because we're on a higher frequency. I'm not boasting that we're any better. We just think differently because of our experiences. And to be a psychic is not the same as being intuitive. It's not. We all have intuition. We've all got that little voice. But the gift of psychic, clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient takes it to yet another level. And we're wide open. And yes, there's ways to protect ourselves. And sometimes we're caught off guard. And sometimes it's very painful and very upsetting. It's like, why? What did I do? Well, it's just people are jealous. Jealous of what? Jealous of what? They've got more money, or they've got the spouse, or they may be traveling, or they've got the beautiful home, or they've got maybe more or less than I do. I don't know. But whatever the resentment is, why throw it at me or some of the people I know? But we have to move all this crap off each other. And that's where the good luck power comes in, or that's where the soulmate power can come in, or that's where the reversal comes in, or the shut up. There's a solution, but going through it is painful. I go through it. You go through it. It's not fun, but there's a lot of negativity out in the world. And not just with us personally, but look at the potential war and what happened with Iran and with Iraq and Iran and Israel the other day. There's just so much negativity, and there's always a war on this planet. This planet will never be at peace. It is a warrior planet. It's the way it's been looked at astrologically forever. There will never be peace on Earth. As much as we try, the peace comes from within yourself. You want peace? Start with you, start with your family, keep it simple and keep it localized. I cannot do this whole show today by myself, so Rebel, you got to come in and help me talk here, because I don't know what happened to poor Katy. I'll find out from her later. So how's your week been with this retrograde? It's been nasty. Have there been challenges at the station or within
goodness, Mercury and me and technology. I sit surrounded by electronics all day long, 12 hours a day. And every time Mercury goes into retrograde, I want to throw this equipment out the window.
Yeah.
Because it just, no matter what you do right now, my keyboard wants to type more letters than I'm typing.
It's stuck. Yeah, it goes on automatic. I've had that. That's funny.
But it's typing letters that I don't even type. It's like typing other words. And I'm like, really?
Maybe you have a ghost.
Well, that's why I was wondering. It's like, is it trying to type something to tell me?
It could. Then let it type and see what it comes out. And it might be a code. We don't know. But if Charlotte were here, she would probably know how to answer that. Because sometimes if the keys get stuck and it's doing a weird thing, it could be that you've got a spirit in the studio. I don't know. I've never been there. But you and I are around, like most people, computers all the time. You especially, because you're managing and producing all these shows. So you're glued to everybody. So you're picking up the people's energy, you're picking up the electronic energy, you're picking up the radioactive energy, plus you've got your own stuff going on and you're trying to multitask all these different things and you're being exposed. And I think something or someone is there to say something. Are we seeing repetitive letters? Is there a word that's trying to spell out? Is there anything that looks like it might be a word or a message?
I haven't taken the time to look at it, but it seems like it's trying to say something. Or I'll type a capital letter and it'll put a small letter, the same, I'll type a capital T and it'll put a small t. It's like, it's supposed to be capitalized, leave it alone. And then they'll put it right next to each other.
I'll be typing on Word. And for some reason, it always starts each sentence with a capital, but it's supposed to be a little letter, lowercase. So I go back probably 20 times until I get it to just stay put as the lowercase. It's very frustrating. I don't know who designs all these fabulous programs. There's glitches. But when you're trying to do lowercase, it comes up capital. And then one more time, you have to backspace to correct it. Yeah, it's annoying, but at least you're aware enough to know that it's happening. Watch the sequence of letters and let me know what it says. I'll bet it could be that there's a spirit. I don't think there is. But if there is, what you want to do is get some sage, frankincense, and myrrh and clean out the room. And it'll move out a lot of the negativity that you're probably accumulating.
It is about that time to sage. It's been a while since I've saged the building because, oh my goodness, it's just aggravating. Like, why? And it's Mercury. It'll only do it. It's like it gets more powerful.
Yes, it does. It enhances. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It's accentuated. It's magnified. And even though they're normal nuances, when we're in it, we all know about it and it rises. It's just more of the same, only it's harder. I don't know why. I will not sign a contract like my car. I'm looking for a new car and I don't need to get one for a couple of months, but I started shopping and they were ready to sign a deal a couple of weeks ago. I said, I will never sign a deal, especially on a car during a Mercury retrograde. If I were to get a car during the retrograde, not to say that you people out there can't go buy cars. And if you're a car salesman, not that you won't sell because you will, because a lot of people don't care. But those particular cars, on average, will have more problems or be in the shop a little more. The tires won't be as good or the mechanics, there'll be a problem. More so than not. Like I bought a new phone, I don't know, a year and a half ago during a retrograde. I thought, well, it's the end of the retrograde at the beginning, whatever it was. I thought nothing could go wrong. I was safe. Wrong. I have a lemon. I just am too lazy to go back to T-Mobile and fix it or swap it out. It's like the light doesn't stay on long enough. The volume keeps going down. It locks up. It's like there's all these issues. I'm under warranty, but like everybody, I get lazy or I'm too busy with more important things. But you got to be careful during a retrograde about purchases, travel, communication, relationships, technology, especially like what Rebel's talking about when it comes to all this computer stuff. My mouse. I started looking for the mouse. I couldn't find the cursor. Okay, the battery died. I thought I just changed the battery. Well, maybe it was a bad battery. So I had to go get another battery. Now that cursor works in that station. I've got 7 computers around the house and out in the back for my assistant use. So I'm like you. I'm surrounded. I've got my station here. Like you've got your monitors. I can only imagine what you are sitting in a studio with all the technical screens watching all these different stations that you program.
It's
if you're studying for law.
Yeah, and well, study has to happen only when I'm not here. I work at the studio Monday through Thursdays. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday I have to fit the rest of my life in.
Again, we need to talk to Dean about that. I know he's
No,
back from wherever he was in South America or Middle Central America, wherever he's been.
no,
But
it's good because I like it this way because I know what I do 12 hours a day, Monday through Thursday. And I manage, like, I don't go to sleep until like 2 o'clock in the morning and wake up at 6:30. Don't feel sorry for me, people. I choose to do this. I'm not complaining. I do like the way things work out, but having that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to take care of other things the rest of my
yeah,
life. But
like
it's
laundry,
yeah, let's see,
dishes.
laundry. Well, dishes get done every day because I will not have any creatures in my house.
Well, that's good. That's good. I was just reading that if you leave dishes in the sink overnight, it'll interrupt the flow of your finances. And I thought, well, the last few nights I haven't really felt like putting the dish away. So this morning I looked at the dishes. They're like one bowl and one fork, and then a little saucepan. So I thought I better put it away because I don't want to interfere with the flow. But I'd never heard that dirty dishes will interrupt the flow of finances. So I kind of took that to heart. I guess I could research it to see how that correlates to money. Just like feng shui might correlate to money and how you put things together in your home. But we can block it. But if you're one of those neat freaks, like my mom, when we were growing up, put it in the washer. I mean, we hadn't even finished drinking. Put the glass away. We were trained and taught to put it in the washer. So you're that way that as soon as you're done, you're ready to wash it or stick it in the washer. Is that what you do?
I refuse to have any kind of creatures in my house. So
Yes. What do you get it? Right. You're in Louisiana. So what kind of
Yes.
bugs do you get there? Like what kind of creatures would be in your sink?
Oh, you can get those big, nasty, we call them pecan tree roaches, those big things. They come from outside.
They're like the roach, yeah.
Yes, that big, nasty thing. They're not tiny either. They're big, huge things. I refuse to allow anything like that to come near even the borders of my house.
I wouldn't want it either. I see a spider and I say, I'm sorry. And I apologize. I'm going to kill it. Because if it's in the bathroom or on the ceiling of the kitchen, yes, I'm supposed to take it outside and give it life, but I can't save everything. When I see a dead bee on the pavement, I think, oh, this poor thing. So I pick it up and I give it a little burial in the plants. I put it back to the dirt. But when there's a creepy crawler, sorry, get out of my way. I don't like it. Are you in the line of the country where the cicadas are going to be? They're going to hit Louisiana?
I don't exactly know what a cicada. We have locusts here, and I think it's kind of the same thing. But no, cicadas normally stay up in the Tennessee area.
They're supposed to be one of the worst infestations of these things for about 6 weeks, coming in May, I think it hits. And I was told by what I read, and one of the girls I was talking to, who's a client of mine, they're actually a little nervous because they're so loud. One's supposed to be louder than a plane. I mean,
they will dive bomb in your face. I've been in Tennessee 1 year when the cicadas came out. It's like, what are these things? They will just come and they run into your face. They will try to get into they'll try to go up your nose, they'll try to go in your ears. I'm like, oh no.
What?
Oh heck no. Oh no, we ain't even playing this game.
No.
Apparently we do have them here. It is what we call locusts. Okay. Cicadas are what we call locusts here. Those are horrible, horrible things. Apparently it's going to be so bad they have now started making jokes about recipes to cook the cicadas. I'm like, oh no.
God.
That's so disgusting. No.
Ew. I wonder what they taste like. I wonder if it tastes like bird or chicken or.
I am not gonna even attempt to try those things.
Yeah,
look
but
nasty.
think about it. A lot of foods now have insects in the food. You got to start reading the ingredients because you keep reading and you're going to find insects that have been ground up and they're in the processed foods. I'm not sure if it's in the produce. I mean, in the protein yet, like the beef, the chicken. Yeah, the meat.
Oh, I think so. I'm a firm believer that they're trying to cross us over to other things because that's what they're developing.
Yeah,
and whenever the rich people develop stuff, they do it.
They want the protein to come from bugs and insects. It'll save the animals, which I appreciate, but
I'd rather eat grass. I'm not going to eat bugs. I mean, that's just disgusting. I just, people are like, well, they got chocolate covered ants. I said I don't like chocolate either, so that's not going to be good for me. I don't want to eat ants. I am not willingly participating in this. They like, well, you eat black pepper and they ground it up in that. I said probably so, but at least it's flavorful. It seasons my food. I'm not deliberately going to pick up a worm off the ground and just start chewing on it. That's just gross. Not going to happen.
No, and I've looked at some of these pictures and all right, Katie's coming. I was off. I thought she was Eastern. She's Central Time. So she'll join us for the second half hour, which would be great, where the next 20 minutes be perfect. Hold on, let me just text her.
It's good that she's going to be able to come on. I'm sure we can fit her story into the time we have left. Looking forward to seeing her.
Yeah, well, I want to go back to the cicadas and the locusts and everything, because I've seen video and tape of them like swarming where you just can't see, you can't see across the street when there's swarms of them. So do you experience all of that when you do you see the swarms? I mean, do they go right by you? If they hit your face in Tennessee, I can only imagine. I would not want to be caught in a bug storm.
I've seen it.
Gnats.
I've seen it in Tennessee. I have not experienced that. And I didn't even know that it was the same thing until I saw the picture. What we see most of the time is the shells. They leave this shell. It looks so sick.
So they kind of like, they morph. So the shell gets left behind and then another part of the insect goes on, kind of like the caterpillar to the butterfly, only it's more of a crusty shell with the wings, right?
It leaves, they grow wings out of this shell that they originally are. These things are, they little brown, and they're wholly formed. I don't know how to get out of this thing. The little shells that they leave is a fully formed thing. My brother used to chase me around the neighborhood with them because I didn't know it was dead already. He just picked up this thing that looked like a horrible bug, chased me down the street.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, oh no, but I got over that fear quickly because not only did he chase me down the street, I was running in people's yards and everything else. And this is nighttime, so we should have no business doing it. But he scared me with it. I learned not to be scared of a shell that I can just squish and it'll crumble into dust. But I've never really seen these things except their shells. But is what they're talking about, there's going to be billions of these things coming. Now, in Tennessee, they were already hatched and swarming. We were at an event, and as soon as the sun went down, when the park lights came on, those stadium lights.
Oh, they're all over the lights because of the brightness. They swarm up at the searchlights. Yeah,
I think they were waiting to see, because once the stadium lights came on, you saw them, and they're in these big, large groups. And then they attack people in the group. You've seen this big old black swirl of stuff come down on people. It's like, oh no, get me out of here to my car.
They're just the bugs. I couldn't live like that. No. When I was applying for college and I would read some of the environmental conditions or what would have more bugs on campus or in the spring, summer, that was a turn off to me because I wasn't used to it. And I couldn't imagine to live in a place of humidity, I guess, or where more bugs would be more prominent in certain areas, especially like Duke University. I forget what they have down there, but it's just not something. Oh God, she can't figure out. Hold on.
Yeah, these things, I've never experienced anything like that in Tennessee, and I was literally, it's like, when they start dive bombing your face and you're swatting,
I couldn't imagine these things are just coming after me all the time as attack. It would be
it was worse than the birds in Alfred Hitchcock's movie, it's like, but because these things they're not so big and they're coming at you, and then they'll get in your hair, and I'm trying to get everything off out of the stadium so we can get to the car. And we're fighting off bugs, dropping things because you're waving your hands around, trying to keep them from your face.
But do they bite or do they sting or they just hit? Because
they just hit when when they're that active. I don't know if they're capable of biting. I would assume they have some way of defending themselves, but they're vicious because they figured, hey, we got strength in numbers, and they just picture this big swirly thing coming down out of the stadium light, and it's bigger on one end, and they pinpoint it almost to an arrow shape. It's like, oh no, you little heathens, and then when they get to you, they spread out. That arrow spreads around you, and you're trying to swipe all these things. I'm like, oh no,
no. And you're at a game trying to have fun while you're getting attacked. I remember growing up, we had a badminton court in our backyard, and we had the big stadium lights in the yard. And in the summer, we would get the June bugs, which are like this big, and they look like beetles, but they're flying bugs. And
I hate those too.
Yeah, she's trying to get in. Watch first, Katy. She says she's trying to figure out the software.
She just has to hit the enter studio button.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't do bugs. I have no heart for bugs. And
no, me neither. I'm not a bug girl. No.
We were at a park one day, and I opened the door to go out of the office, and sure enough, here's this big old spider. I'm just like, bye, click. And my friend was like, what was that? I said, dead. That's what that is, dead. Oh, why didn't you just knock it off the door? No, it's dead. It shouldn't have come.
What kind of spider was it? It wasn't just a little baby spider. It must have been significantly huge enough that you would get upset over. I don't like spiders.
I can kill anything within my hand size. When it starts to be bigger than the size of my hand, I'm a little bit, I don't want to do that. Same with your feet. You can squish anything and step on it, kill it, whatever. But if it gets larger than your foot, that's when you say, okay, no, somebody else take it. No. Oh, because I cannot stand everything, and I have friends that are, but it has a life. I'm like, and it shouldn't have stayed out of mine.
Karma and the Buddhas, everybody says, don't kill the spider, don't kill the fly. It does have a life. And that's why I say, I'm really sorry. Smash. It's like, God really wanted me to live with insects and be in the jungle, but that's not where I am. Not in my home.
Exactly. I just can't. I'm not going to do it. I'm not having any part of it. Just no. It's a straight up no, because it's not happening. I will not engage with bugs. I had a friend that she didn't mind having a roach in her house. I'm like, oh no, I'm not going to be sitting in your chair and something run across my foot. I got a problem with it. I'm not doing that. I just can't. I cannot do that. No, stay away from me. I have another friend. She says, if I see one in my house, I'm gonna burn the house down. I'm like, well, have fun with that. That's what they make insect sprays for. Not gonna do it.
Hold on, she's on my radio station.
Just need to click the link. Anyway, while we're waiting for the guests, I want to remind you guys to Wicks of Wisdom. If you want to get your candles, go to lindasalvin.com and order you some, because they are very helpful. You can watch previous episodes where people have testified to their strength. It is amazing.
They definitely work. I'm sorry that this is a Mercury retrograde thing that my friend can't seem to figure out how to sign on. Or I just sent to the studio again. Let's see if even for the 10 minutes.
Just about out of time. I hate to rush her story, but
we may have to do it another time.
But so, do y'all have these bugs, the cicadas, in your area?
No, that's why when I watch the news or I hear about what's going to be coming with this storm, the yuckiness of it and the fear of it and the imagination of me driving and they hit your car, or like you talking about being at the stadium with all the lights, and the intensity of their power, I guess, and their speed is not something I would want to be on. We get mosquitoes, of course. We've got tons of insects, of course. We get, once in a while, I'll see a geez.
Yeah, it's not pretty. Of course, the mosquito
I'm
is our
sorry,
state
everybody.
bird.
My friend doesn't understand how to open this. So,
Yeah, we have obviously the pelican is our state bird, but the mosquito is our secondary bird here in Louisiana because they get so big. But these cicada things are much worse. You should, if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, Google cicada and images, and you'll see that crusty shell that I'm talking about. It's it's horrible, and we are used to seeing the shells, and they'll leave their shells everywhere. You'll have them on your tires in your
and who
car.
cleans it up?
Oh, they turn to dust when you mess with them.
Oh, they do. It goes back to
Oh,
the
yeah.
earth.
It just goes back, but that's just the shell. Their bodies, though, they can get pretty big. And when they first hatch, and these things are they lay dormant for a long time
Where do they live? Do you know enough about the
underground.
history? Hold on.
Because in Tennessee when we were up there, that was a few years back, and that they had just they were 24 years underground. They had gone, I don't know what their gestation time is, but they had not been out really bad for 24 years. And that was the year that they decided to sprout. And it's like, oh no, I left Tennessee
But do
because
you
of
know
that
where they
activity.
hibernate? Do you know how they migrate and how the butterflies will go from Mexico up to Canada? I guess we're going to have to. Never mind. I'll just have to have her.
I'm not 100% sure of where
How
they
they
stay when
start,
they're
yeah,
not.
if they're in the dirt, if they're in a mountain, if they're in a tree, if they're in the bark, I wonder, I'm not an entomologist, so I wouldn't know. The sound and the noise and the look is just not something I want to talk about.
Yeah,
But how did we even get onto the locust and the cicada?
Mercury.
Yeah, Mercury retrograde, what's going to be going on? The
We never know what's going to hit in the Mercury retrograde.
no,
Hopefully
yeah,
not
and
this.
but the bugs, they're not supposed to be here till May, right? Isn't May or June the time that they're supposed to have this huge, massive
Right. We have a
raid?
guest. We have a guest.
Oh, she made it. Katy, you're here.
Yeah, I'm early. It's 4:48.
No. I made a mistake. I thought you were Eastern time. So no, the show's almost over.
4:55 would be something.
Katy, it doesn't matter. I was wrong. I forgot you're Central, not Eastern.
I'm not Central. I'm Eastern. And your email said 4:55 p.m. twice.
No, well, then I made a mistake. We were just talking about Mercury retrograde and all the screwed up things that have been going on with communication and everything with this retrograde, that nothing's gone right. The psychic attacks. People, this is Katy Dowdles, who I've known for over 35 years, and she's in North Carolina. Can we do about 10 minutes, Rebel? Can we do that?
We can do a few.
Okay.
Okay. Whatever you have, I'll do.
No, it's about you. It's
Okay.
just, it's not about me. It's about you.
Okay.
It's about how you worked in Hollywood with Jay Leno and all the other shows, and how you ended up leaving and taking your journey and going into Nashville and all the beautiful things that you've done and helped, and how you love taking your walks and with the dogs and the beautiful scenery, that you left LA to do all of the more spiritual life that you created for yourself. This is all about you. It's not about me. But the topic was Mercury retrograde, because we're right in the thick of a horrible, horrible retrograde.
That explains a whole lot, because even where I work at Biltmore, people have been
crazy,
off kilter, off kilter.
Yeah. Katy works at the Biltmore. If you want to give a little bit of background, you've been there, what, 15 years now, right?
Almost 17 now.
Oh, well, I'm a little behind. I saw you 2 years ago when I was in Ashville.
I know.
God. It goes fast. It goes fast.
Too fast.
But you love living there, right?
I do. I get homesick. I do get homesick for California, because my family, most of it is in California. But, there's certain things I'm homesick for, but I do love the mountains. There's something very spiritual about this place that called me to come here in the first place. So I couldn't explain it.
Those
Why?
are the Blue Ridge Mountains that I had
Yeah.
never seen. And when I got to North Carolina with my friend and we drove down to Ashville and have dinner with Katy, and it was so beautiful. And we sat in a restaurant that was just surrounded in a little downtown area that's all trees. It's gorgeous. It's peaceful. It's very peaceful.
It is peaceful. It's even since you were here, traffic and building has gone through the roof. Literally through the roof.
So they're really developing the area now, more and more
people. Oh my
people.
gosh, like nobody's business. First of all, it started with all the breweries. It started with the one that in Lodi, California, Sierra Nevada. And after that, all this whole brewing industry came and became huge to the point where they called Ashville, their nickname was Beer City, USA.
Just what you need. Oh my
That's
God.
where
There's
I
nothing
live
else
in
to
Beer
do.
City. But
There's nothing else to do.
I don't know, but it's still a mountain town. It's still, for an example, people come to fix something in your house and they give you their cell phone number. And so they tell you, well, you call me on this number if there's any problem or issue. Now, I go through a rental company, so they send people, but these people are with the heating and air conditioning or the plumbers or the whatever, and they're always down to earth and professional and come when they say they're coming. And
No, you don't get that here. You don't get that here. That must be a whole switch for you.
It's a whole different ballgame. Yeah. Starting with the Sears guy that installed my washer and dryer when I first moved here. He gave me his cell number. I said, well, don't you want me to just call Sears? No. You call my number. I'm the one that installed these babies. I'm going to make sure that everything is right with you.
Wow. No,
that's just an example. Yeah.
But that's more of the Southern attitude as opposed to living in LA. I mean, you worked in the movie TV industry for years. Why don't you talk about that for a moment? You were in the industry as a script supervisor and God knows what else you did, which means, tell people what you did in Hollywood.
I was taking all the notes for the editor. So basically from the first table read to the filming, my responsibility was telling the writers, are we long? Are we short? Do we need to make cuts? Do we need to add? And then that's in the rehearsals. And then during filming, all the notes that I'm taking are like the Bible for the editor. Now, I've known editors that never looked at the notes. They were so good, they would just look at all the footage and just know, click, how to put this all together and exactly what the director wanted. But this would be usually editors that have worked with that director before. So I always covered my butt and put my initials if a director said, I don't care if that doesn't match. I want to use that take because the performance is better. So I would just make a note so I would know, okay, Katy covered her butt. I just made a note.
Do you miss it?
No, because not really. It was becoming not so fun and more about the business than the creativity. Everybody was kind of noticing that trend and everybody was trending towards reality. So a lot of the crafts, a lot of the unions weren't getting work.
And now we have AI and they have the problems with AI.
Yep.
It's all becoming more impersonal, but they're getting more out there, but it's a different world now than you grew up with.
Very different. But, it was just the timing and everything with the last series I worked on called Half and Half for Yvette Lee Bowser. I have a cat that's pushing on my laptop, on my iPad. But it got to be, I don't know, just not very impersonal and not as fun, and if you're going to kind of hinder actors' creativity, if they're tense, they're not going to be funny. Mostly I worked on sitcoms, and everybody was under the gun and everybody was proving something. And, and a lot of jobs were eliminated because reality TV, well, they just film everything all the time, all day, all night. So they're basically not using an editor. They're not using a script supervisor. They don't use set dressing,
A lot of
props.
the jobs are being eliminated and you didn't
Right.
have the purpose. We're out of time, Katy. I want to invite you back where we can spend a whole hour and go over some of your experiences. I can bring you back next Tuesday. I'm already booked tomorrow and Thursday if you want. It's just one of those glitches, especially with the Mercury retrograde. Couldn't figure out the link or the time or whatever.
Oh,
but,
that's all right.
I guess I should have said 3:50. Yeah, I signed on at 12:55. That was my mistake. I was thinking that it was 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock. That was my error. But it happens. Communication. I can't do everything myself. Nobody can. But this is
Maybe
Katy.
you need an assistant. I'll come back to California. I'll be your personal assistant.
I may need that at the end of the year.
You never know.
I need it because of a new launch I've got with the Wicks of Wisdom, which Rebel was helping promote for me. People, Wicks of Wisdom work like a prescription for your soul. They're on my website at lindasalvin.com. The nutritional products I was talking about at the beginning of the show for DNA nutrition, as well as the detox to clean your body from the glyphosates and the plastics and the metals that we're all inhaling and ingesting. It's all at my website. I'm going to have Katy stay backstage as we sign off. I'll be back tomorrow with Candy Finnegan with our show One Day at a Time is the topic for Recovery Wednesday. And Thursday, again, it'll be Peggy Robinson talking about near-death experiences. I'm Dr. Linda Salvin. I'm the host and creator of Psychic Solutions Podcast, and I'll see you soon. Thank you so much for help, Rebel, even though I didn't know that we were going to talk about the lotus and the cicada infestation, but you'll learn something new every day. Have a great one, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed Dr. Linda Salvin's Psychic Solutions Podcast. You can reach Dr. Linda at 888-509-1077 or at lindasalvin.com. Need a breakthrough of your own? Ready for answers or insights nobody else has? Reserve your own one-on-one in-person chat. Dr. Linda isn't just for other people. Dr. Linda gets results for you. And it's easy. Contact details are on screen now. Just click on lindasalvin.com or call toll-free 888-509-1077. That's lindasalvin.com or toll-free at 888-509-1077.